Okay. I am just finishing milking cookies and ready to get into an EDH deck on Iname Death Aspect. This card is a lot of fun, yet to really test play it in big games, but I'm looking forward to it. When it comes into play, you get to look through your deck for any number of spirits, put them into your graveyard, and we're going to recur them quickly. When we have other creatures we get in our graveyard, we recur them quickly as well. This is full-blown necromancy, one of my favorite types of sorcery, and perfect general. Couldn't be happier with how it's turned out. So to get it started, we are going to get it started like a necromancer. So our first card, Entomb. Entomb is the classic. 1 to cast. Search your library for any card. Better than Buried Alive in several aspects. Instant speed, cheaper, and any card. So every way. But yes, so we can get Vengeful Pharaoh, which destroys creatures that hit us. We can get a lot of things. Quick reanimate targets, and we reanimate with reanimate. Because we are classic. We are a classic necromancer and willing to pay the price of our dark arts. Stitched Together up next. Iname makes this card amazing. You put 7 spirits into your graveyard, you enable Threshold guaranteed. You probably already played an early game spell as well, so you got a bit of a cushion. You don't have to go so deep. We only run 10 spirits. Super select package on spirits. Next card, Animate Dead, classic reanimator. Yeah, pull them up from the yard for 2. Exhume. Everyone takes a creature from their yard, puts it into play. 2 to cast, first turn Entomb, second turn Exhume. Or try and ramp somewhere around 3rd turn into a Buried Alive Exhume. It's another possibility. Buried Alive up next. Just talked about it. Yeah, 3 creatures, sorcery speed, into your graveyard. Quite good, especially when you get the Bloodghast combo. The Bloodghast combo in this deck is you hold your land drop, you play Buried Alive, you search up Bloodghast and 2 creatures, play your land for a turn, Bloodghast comes back, and you have enough mana, you victimize. Next up, Balthor the Defiled. Balthor the Defiled is a very strong card. Yeah, I only have good things to say about him. Played him when I was a kid. Happy I found a deck for him now. Yes, this is the end, my friend, so I am going to have a bite of cookie. Cookies are good. Okay. This is a serious business. This is how the people die. This is the end. And the end is death, and death is life. And sometimes it's the patriarch's willing or bidding. Yeah, that was the joke in case you didn't get it. Anyways, so yes, these are all the recursion effects, and we're at the tail end of them. First 2 are board wipes if we position them properly with some exile. So is this one, but this is harder depending on how many people are in the game. You can do it at instant speed, which is interesting. I find that interesting. We'll see how that pans out. More cookie, 1 sec. Oh my cookies. Okay. Totally unprofessional. Sorry guys, but you know, cookies call. Thran Foundry. 1 to cast. This is our manipulation. So this deck's vulnerable to graveyard hate. Duh. We need some answers. If they get something we couldn't take out with hand attack, we need a Thran Foundry. We need the option of shuffling our graveyard into our library for 1 mana. Keeping it open when we feel threatened. And when we're using a recursion effect, where everyone puts their yard onto the battlefield, we can use this offensively to force them to shuffle before that triggers. Duress. Duress, sorry, just shuffling cards there. Duress is one of my favorite cards. I really like this art. I played a lot of discard and I did not play Duress a lot. Funnily enough, until Commander, until this deck, and I really love it. I'm really excited for what this card's going to do and what it is doing. Thoughtseize, the better version, but we're looking for those graveyard hate cards, like especially Rest in Peace. We're doomed with that. Bite a cookie. Okay, I'm gonna go on. Maybe I'll make this a thing. I'll just eat cookies, drink milk. Tell me about a Magic deck. That's pretty awesome. Subjective opinion. Hopefully I can convince you guys. I did put a lot of work into this, so let me know your thoughts. Let me know how we can make this better as a team. Shout out to Evergreen. I watched some of his games. I'd already made the deck, but to see it, to see the cards I had chosen as well and see them played well, I thought that was amazing. Watched a game where he rushed out, bubbling mucked into a He Who Hungers. Took out Nin. Forget who was playing Nin, but anyways, long tangent. Just remember, gotta remove things. Damnation. We'll go a little faster. Blow them all up for 4. Boom. Done. This is the only real hard control here. No mercy. Political, anything hits you, blow it up. Have a buddy cookie, let's keep rolling. Oh, I have the whole thing. Okay. Cookies are good. I don't know if I mentioned that, but cookies are good. So Dark Ritual. Boom, really fast. That's what we want to do. We want to go fast into Iname. Take advantage with mana abilities and things that count cards in graveyard. Essentially, calling the weak so strong. Third turn Iname. I actually don't run Bubbling Muck. I run Songs of the Damned. I couldn't include Bubbling Muck. Because cards like this were printed, it was not worth it, I found. I only run 20 Swamps, and I have a Lake of the Dead. So I thought I'd rather feed Lake of the Dead than count on it with the Bubbling Muck. Urborg's the thing, but Urborg gets taken out a lot of the time. So this felt more appropriate and is really good. 10 spirits in the deck, so we can make that add a selective amount of mana. It's very nice. Cabal Ritual, really nice. Spirits in the graveyard, threshold enabled, boom, 5 mana. Also gets Iname out a turn early, so that's exactly what we want. Chromox, on that vein. Sometimes we get a card, we get 2 effects. Like you could draw a Greyborn Muse, Phyrexian Arena. You go, okay, second turn, get the arena out faster. I don't know, a lot of plays, a lot of options. That happened in a test play early, and I realized those 2 are the same. You can replace. Yeah. Lotus Petal. You read it by now? Oh, I need some milk. Those cookies were too intense, but so worth it. Oh, the chocolatey chipness is chipping away at me. Everflowing Chalice, we can spike on mana, float it into there, and it'll stick turn after turn. Expedition Map. A lot of land combos you'll see. Land is very important in this deck for protecting us and for keeping us drawing. We only run 34 lengths, so we need to go. We need to reach. We need to spike earlier. That's what I'm trying to say. We just spike early in order to stabilize. We don't want to go all in. Helm of Awakening. I mean, I assume you know these ones. The Mana Vault, Soul Ring. Now, Helm of Awakening here, though. Those last ones are all free, and our Iname comes out a turn early, so very powerful. It's all players though, so mind that. You can use it as politics early, like these pink sleeves. These pink sleeves are just a disguise. They're a disguise, man. There's evil behind them. But you gotta play the politics. Mindstone, great card. Now when it comes out a turn early, then we can sacrifice this to get into our recursion effects or better cards, essentially, if we have the mana. So there we go. That's gonna be how we reanimate, and that's gonna be how we get there faster. Now we're gonna move into our utility creatures. This is before our spirits. So the first one up is Phyrexian Revoker. Phyrexian Revoker comes into play, name a card. Activators abilities of the name card can't be played. Let's see if I can bring this closer here. There we go. Yeah. This is very good with reanimate abilities because we can bring it back more than once and name different cards. It shuts off the Planeswalkers, and more importantly, it shuts down Relic of Progenitus, which is huge for this deck. That's a really big common threat. Undead Gladiator. I love this guy. I think he's really cool. He's a 3/1. We're going to have him in our graveyard because we're going to cycle him. That's what we want to do with him. Use him to draw a card turn 2, and then we can discard our big creatures we want to reanimate and bring him back to our hand. Otherwise, he gets you the card, and then when you inevitably get some graveyard recursion, you just have another 3/1. It's a nice blocker. Sometimes it's relevant on the attack. Solemn. We're done. You know it. Grey Merchant. Similarly for black, I feel like this is just a staple now almost, unless you're playing Black Storm, which, you know, props to you. Yeah, drain everyone for devotion and you gain the total. Vengeful Pharaoh. Really cool Entomb play. I really like this early game. If I get this or a Maze of Ith early game, I feel like I'm going to be comfy for, you know, turn 4, turn 5, and then enough threats. Runescar Demon, the last of the one-offs. This is a real enabler. I feel like Reanimator has to run this. There's no hard tutors in this deck. They're all different. And by hard tutors, I mean Demonic Tutor and Vampiric Tutor. I like the alternate tutors. So now, here we are, the Spirit package. We're going to start it off with a Tormented Soul. Tormented Soul can't block and is unblockable. Yeah. We have a Quietus Spike, we have a Sword of Light and Shadow. Those two cards, with that, very good. So is Will-O-the-Wisp, but really this is just, it's a classic. I mean, I've wanted to run this card forever. It's a Spirit. The Flying Regenerate means it can delay a lot of threats. They got to be suited up with something or be higher casting, I think generally is going to be the case. Nether Trader gets in with the Quietus Spike, instant speed. This is target number 1. This is why Quietus Spike made the cut, really, is because the Tormented Soul and the Nether Trader, I noticed, were both spirits, and we could consistently get off an unblockable shot. And I thought, you know, EDH, there's definitely going to be more than one person if I'm playing a lot. I enjoy multiplayer games, but I also enjoy winning, so I have to find a medium where I can develop a strategy that deals with more than one person. Bloodghast, next on the Spirit list. This enables a lot of stuff just because we sacrifice. We got a Phyrexian Tower, we got Culling the Weak, like you saw. Yeah, this is our main man for helping out on that front. Cryptghast, double the mana, extort, 4 for a 2/2. Classic, EDH Black. Greatborn Muse, you notice those zombies earlier? Yeah, gets pretty good if I have one in play. I love the card already by itself. I'm happy to be able to really run this in a deck viably. I've always thought it was a cool card. I really remember thinking about it a long time when it came out. I was really young and I was like, this is really powerful, but I wasn't quite there. You know what I mean? Now we're a grander sorcerer for sure. That was He Who Hungers. Let's go back there. Alright, He Who Hungers, not to be skimmed over. This guy, get him out early with some mana floating, and you just take care of the rest of their hand. Awesome. Kakusha. They lose life, you gain life. Repeatable. Reanimator makes this work more than it usually does. Myojin of Night's Reach. Interesting card. Not always something you want to throw into your graveyard as a result of the Divinity Counter ability. Having everyone discard their hand, all opponents, that is, gives you a huge advantage, but you have to be in a board state to back that up. You draw so much threat to you, you have to consider that. Spirit of the Night, our final Spirit of the Night. Let's bring this a little closer. Yeah. Big Baddie, one of my faves. I made a deck for a friend that special summoned this. Shout out to George. Okay. Now we get to the win conditions. And finally I'll do draw, I think. Quite a spike. Having life totals with each shot is so powerful in EDH. A lot of decks go for some big gain life, you know, exsanguinate effects, etc. This kind of keeps them in check. I'm really excited to see this perform in multiplayer. This is a bit of an odd one. This is a bit of flavor. Tombstone Stairwell, 4 to cast, Enchant World, you know, classic old school Enchant World. Cumulative upkeep 2. Beginning of your upkeep, each player's upkeep actually, they get a 2/2 zombie for each creature in their graveyard with haste. And then you sack them all in a turn, I believe. Or exile them. Look it up. I'll post a deck list and we'll figure it out, guys. But essentially that's what it is. You get a bunch of creatures for each one in your graveyard. Iname makes that happen. And you can swing in with them. I think it's a cool card. I think it could be fun if it came out turn 4, 5. I think it could come out 5, 6. Hatred. Looking groovy in the pink sleeve. I actually find this hilarious. Yeah, there's nothing in here that really makes Hatred disgusting unless Quite a Spike has them down so low. It's really there for that and the Soren Markov. This is a dangerous card and a card I've wanted to run for a very long time. And because of the strategy I chose with the halving and the setting to 10, it made it viable in multiplayer. Here he is, the Vampire of Legend. I'll bring him up. Focus on these is weird, man. Okay, yeah, 6 to cast. The -3 is what's relevant. Target player's life total becomes 10. There we go. There we go. Yeah, you can Mindslaver them as well, but not as important. We really just want to set him to 10. If he lives, groovy. We don't care if he doesn't. Akroma's Memorial. This card's awesome. I've wanted to run this card for so long. I never thought it'd be Spirit Tribal. I'm so happy it is. 1 Eldrazi. Only 1. I really do feel like Eldrazi are overpowered the vast majority of the time. I think that it's overpowered in this deck, to be honest. But I like including 1. I feel like a lot of people throw them in out there, and so I like to have a beastie to contest with them. And this is sort of a one-off, so I feel like if I'm including 1, this guy really made the cut, especially with the Living Death effects. And yeah, happy to have him, not gonna lie. Sword of Light and Shadow. Only sword in the deck, because I just think it fits it perfectly. You gain some life. You're going to see in a second when you go to the draw package. Pay a lot of life to draw a lot of cards is a big theme of the deck. Well, you know, about 10% of it, at least. 15-20. I should correct that. 15-20%. Anyways, yeah. And getting creatures back from your graveyard, replaying a Runescar Demon or whatever over and over. Always nice. Here's the last part of the deck as far as non-lands. Nihil Spellbomb places itself, exiles a graveyard. Great card. Anvil of Bogarden. No max hand size for anyone. At the beginning of everyone's upkeep, you draw an additional card and discard a card. We can discard our reanimator targets and reanimate something really early. It's very strong. Right hand, you grab that, you're in a very good spot. Shadows of the Past, I'm trying this out. Because of having lives and because of Soren Markov, I feel like this 5 could be relevant. The lose 2, gain 2. Also, the Scry. I feel like long term this card will pay off, but I've yet to try it out. Excited for it though. Night's Whisper, draw 2, lose 2. More flexible than the Sign in Blood, but I like that. Read the Bones. Read the Bones has become a classic for me in mono black EDH. I've had a few in the past, and yeah, it's definitely found a home in most of mine. It's very good. Phyrexian Arena, love the art. Gerard, Urza, some Phyrexians. Classic, man. Necropotence, because we are evil. We are evil. This is our final draw spell, and now we're getting into our hard tutors. Not hard tutors, sorry. We don't run any hard tutors, is what I'm going to say. We run 3. We run Beseech the Queen. I like this one. I often get mana with this one. I feel like it's best suited for that. Really helps the deck out. We only run 34. Diabolic Intent. We want to make this sacrifice work for us, or we just hit a bloodcast. Dark Petition. This becomes great when we get the 3 black. That's often important. That means that unlocks, you know, silly things like Dark Petition, Necropotence. Alright, here's the final bit of the deck. Get the basics over with right now. One card, I'll show you. This is the Graveborn Swamp. Art originally from Avacyn. Forget which block. Looks like it's probably restored based by the headstone, but I don't know. But yeah, love this art. I wanted a swamp with a graveyard because I am playing spirits, and it fitted perfectly. Been looking at them for a while, and it was like $5. It was I was so happy I found them for so cheap. Deserted Temple. Here we go. These are the bad boys for lands. Deserted Temple, the rest of these cards that are following it, I think less than 4 or 5, all combo with this. I think it's an underplayed, undervalued card. Cabal Coffers, classic. You know Urborg's in there. I'll tell you right now, because you already know. Crypt of Egadim, enters tapped, add 1, or add 1 for each black creature in your graveyard. This is insane. You ramp into your Iname, you have this on the field, and you haven't lost anything. You've just gained so much steam. Next one is Thawing Glaciers. I love this card in black, and I love this card in red. If you play those monocolors EDH, you'll fall in love with this. I guarantee it. Even if you don't, I think it's a great card. Urborg allows you to tap this for a swamp, and Deserted Temple allows you to trigger this twice because Thawing Glaciers doesn't return to your hand till end of turn. So that's really cool. Mizavith. Yeah, we can activate it twice, and I like Mizavith in black because Urborg. Jukabod. Yep, we need to exile graveyards because we have recursion effects that affect multiple players. Dakmor Salvage. This card's really good in this deck because in a tight spot we can entomb. Pull 2 cards off the top of our library, throw them in our graveyard, and we have a mana. Comes in tap, but you know, you make the land drop, and maybe that enables something the following turn. Cedar Toten, actually a Lake of the Dead. An awesome card. The deck is built, the mana base is built to support this. You saw the Thawing Glaciers, and yeah, I love this card. Phyrexian Tower, so good. Sacrifice a creature to add 2, otherwise you get added a colorless. Yeah, but Bloodghast loves this. I mean, he just like hangs out here all day. He's got his feet up there. Ghost Quarter, not Strip Mine. Not Strip Mine. I feel like in a situation, I'm going to be in a spot where I actually can take the loss on mana and find an extra black source to enable a play. Because this deck is very greedy. 34 lands. It's I've never made a deck this dangerous that gets away with it this often. Thespian Stage becomes a copy of a land. No Dark Depths. We're not. We ain't running it. Yeah, maybe one day. I don't know. That's a big decision. It's a big power spike. You know, it's all dependent on play group. Gaia Reach Sanitarium. This is really good in the deck. Filters your hand. Gets a big guy into your yard for reanimation. Yeah, it does it for each player. But like, the utility for you is insane. Kokoro, that's just everyone draws. We gotta keep the gas going in this deck. Fast. We gotta go fast. Last card of the deck is the Ancient Tomb, in which all the things lurk. Yeah. So guys, this has been Iname Death Aspect. I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned something about mono black in general, and about a deck that I don't see too often, to be honest. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Probably one of the better decks I've ever made. I will be posting some more decks in the near future. I'm thinking of using some you know, tapped out footage of pre-constructed decks, getting your guys' opinion. I'm open to brewing ideas with people who are down for that. Yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what you do, and let me know how you liked it. Thanks.